Nothing Happens in Hollow Creek is a horror story. It contains unsettling sounds, descriptions of violence, and themes of missing persons, systemic neglect, and the ways some lives are remembered while others are forgotten. This story is not suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised. In Hollow Creek, just 'cause it's quiet don't mean you're safe. Sometimes the quiet is just the sound of waiting. Welcome back, listeners. Last time we left Hollow Creek, a simple drive back to town showed our trio just how alone they really were, and how far this thing would go to keep its secrets. Their digging led them to the door of Caleb Dawes, a man who spent years living with the knowledge of the Hollows. He told them about the creature that makes them, the Periphery, and he told them to do the smartest thing anyone could do in Hollow Creek. Get out while you can. And they tried, but the storm rolled in off the hills. The creek swelled and the Periphery reached straight through the car radio, twisted Miles Calloway's own voice into its warning, and shoved them off the road. They ran blind through the Bradford hell, chased by something tall enough to bend the light around it. They made it to Caleb's porch, a single lantern still burning like it had been left for them, and a rocking chair creaking in the wind. From somewhere inside that dark little house, Miles heard that fractured whisper again. Don't look. Jordan! Jordan!
Jordan, where are you? Oh my God, please. Jordan!
The porch boards gave under their weight, wet and hollow sounding. The rocking chair kept leaning in the wind, then slowed, then stilled. The door was cracked just wide enough to show a sliver of orange light inside.
She was right behind us. I swear to God, she was right behind my shoulder.
She could have tripped, stayed back. Maybe she circled the cabin the other way.
I'll go back, down the path, see if she fell. You check around the...
No. That's exactly what it wants. Separate us, pull you back into the trees, pick us off one at a time.
So, what, we just stand here on the porch and hope she miraculously appears? She's out there with it. Shut up.
What? I didn't...
Not you. I'm talking to that thing.
It wasn't adrenaline. The words crawled in behind his ears, where his skull met his spine. This time, the Periphery didn't need a radio or a speaker. It had found a shortcut.
Okay. If Caleb is home, he might have seen her. He could have grabbed her. The light's on. We're no help to her if we get lost out there, too.
Fine. We check inside. Fast. If he hasn't seen her, I'm going back out there, with or without you.
If you go back out alone, I'm telling your uncle you volunteered to be monster bait. Come on.
The cabin smelled like old smoke and burnt leaves with herbs and oil. A single lantern burned on a low table, throwing light across the living room. No sign of Caleb, no sign of Jordan, just the echo of the door closing behind them.
Caleb? Mr. Dawes?
Jordan, are you here?
It was the wrong kind of quiet, the kind that felt like the house was listening back. Eli's eyes went to the walls first. Every surface had something tacked or taped or carved into it. Newspaper clippings, photocopies, hand-drawn maps with circles overlaid on circles. Edges marked with red pen, names scrawled in the margins. Between them, strange symbols burned into the wood, loops and angles that made her head ache if she looked too long.
Oh my God.
What?
He's been at this for decades. Not just the Periphery. Look, Hollow Creek datelines from the 90s, some with that same likely runaway language, and these aren't even from here. Stonga, Virginia, 2003. Teen disappearance spurs brief search. And this one, Barlow, Kentucky. Same phrases, different towns. He's been chasing patterns like ours longer than we've been alive.
Okay, so he's obsessed. You're obsessed. We're all obsessed. None of this tells me where Jordan is.
These symbols, I've seen some like this online. Old Appalachian stuff. Protection sigils, warding marks, some tied to other creatures. He's not just chasing one thing, he's cataloging types.
Under the coffee table, a notebook lay open to a page labeled Periphery, Hollow Creek Node. Below it, in smaller letters, photophobia, radiophobia, scopophobia, followed by question marks and underlines.
Hates direct light, hates radio signal, hates sustained eye contact, must leave evidence of passage. He's been writing rules like we are.
Then maybe he'll know how to use them. But that only helps if he's not out there being eaten.
Miles,
I'm not waiting around in this Murder Walls clubhouse while Jordan gets turned into Henry 2.0. If he's not here, he might be out looking for her, and we're just...
Something hit the back door, hard. The knob jumped in Miles's hand. For a second, Eli saw every sigil on the walls at once, like they were bracing. "Who's there?"
Move your damn hands. I can't get the key in.
Caleb Dawes stumbled in backwards, dragging something with him. A shape wrapped in a coat and a blanket, boots scraping over the threshold.
It'll help, maybe, instead of hollering like I'm the boogeyman.
"Jordan?" Jordan's hair was plastered to her forehead, mud up to her knees. Her eyes were too wide, pupils hazy, breathing fast but shallow like she had just woken up from drowning.
oh, thank God. Jordan, hey. Hey, it's me. You're okay. We've got you.
Did you see it? It was right there. I thought if I ran straight at it.
She damn near did. Girl like that don't run away from the fire. She sticks her hand in it. Found her down by the low culvert off the creek, standing in the water like she was waiting on a bus.
Why didn't you shout? We were on the porch screaming for you.
Because I had both hands full keeping her from walking deeper. That's why. Because if I had yelled, you might have come running. And I can't haul three of you out of there at once.
He said it like a man stating a fact, not apologizing. Eli swallowed hard and glanced back at the walls. Maps and names and marks, like the one she'd started drawing, but older, deeper, more desperate.
You've been fighting this longer than you told us.
Long enough to know I can't do it alone. Sit her down. Get yourself dry if you can. Then we'll talk about what you've gone and stepped into.
Outside, the woods pressed in against the glass. Inside, the house pressed back. Every wall etched with proof that Caleb Dawes had seen what Hollow Creek refused to see. Now, so had they. 10 minutes, 1 blanket, and 2 chipped mugs of hot tea didn't fix anything. But they slowed her shaking. Jordan sat curled on the couch, Caleb's old army jacket over her shoulders. Eli perched on a dining chair, back straight and eyes too bright. Miles stayed standing, like sitting might make him easier to pin down.
You remember what you saw?
Some of it. I thought I was following you guys. Then the trees moved wrong. Like the path stretched. I knew I was turning left, but everything kept sliding sideways. Then I was at this tunnel. Concrete, graffiti, water running underneath. I could hear trucks way above me, but nothing felt real.
You said you saw faces?
Pressed into the water like it was glass, stacked on each other. They turned when I did. I think if I'd looked long enough to count them, I wouldn't have come back.
And I got there just in time. He's got a hold of the way you see now. That don't go away easy.
What about what I heard? It talked to me. No radio, just like it was whispering.
Asked you before. Can ask you again for their benefit. That voice you heard when the car died, where was it coming from?
Inside my head. Same one that's been saying, "Don't look," since the mill. Only it used my name this time.
But I heard it as well. It was on the radio.
It wasn't just the radio. It echoed in my head. Eli's stomach dropped. For a moment, the wall seemed to lean in, the clippings whispering as the air shifted.
Then you're marked. That's what I was afraid of. It always picks a favorite door. Someone who lines up just right with wherever it wants to go.
I'm not a hollow. I'm not Henry.
Not yet. And you don't have to be, if you're smart about it. But you can't pretend this ain't happening. That thing's leaning on your hinges, trying to see how far they'll swing.
You've seen this before?
Seen folks who heard voices before anyone else did. Seen them walk off into the trees or the water, thinking they were headed home. Some came back wrong. Some didn't come back. That's what your periphery does. It don't just snatch bodies, it weighs you down with the parts of yourself you already half believe.
So what? Miles is doomed unless we just leave? Run?
You could run. Wouldn't blame you. But it wouldn't shake it. It'd just follow along, talking a little louder each mile. Or... we use the fact that it wants him. We drag it someplace it don't want to be and shut the door on it for a change.
I saw on your board that you think there's a way to trap it. This impossible shape. A quadrilateral triptych.
Figured you'd latch onto that weird name. Yeah, best I got. Old story my granddaddy told about critters in the woods and something about non-Euclidean waystones. Then some things I worked out looking at these walls for far too many years. I got something. Yeah. Oh, let's see. The periphery can't stand being the thing in the center. It lives on edges in the gap between what you see and what you sense. So we make an edge-free space. 4 bodies, 8 eyes, 3 points. You put 3 people who've seen it, really seen it, on the corners of a triangle. Spread them out. Have them face outward, covering the whole world around them. Eyes closed at first. Then you take the 4th, the mark. You let it chase him. He runs right into the triangle, and when he crosses the line between them, all 3 open their eyes at once, looking out.
So their gaze lines make a perimeter?
Mm-hmm. For a heartbeat, every direction it'd normally slip to is blocked by somebody watching. That pins it in the center. Then you turn the cage. Marked one goes point to point, taps each person one by one. They turn around, stop looking outward, and open their eyes to the middle where he's standing. By the time all 3 are facing in, there ain't a single angle left that ain't covered by somebody's stare. You hold that, you flood it with light. You make a crowd look at it and perceive its ugly form. If that don't kill it, it'll at least rip it loose from this place.
And you've tried this?
Nope. Never had four that were right. Never had a marked one who understood what he was. Closest we got was a little circle out by the old quarry. Things slipped sideways soon as one man blinked. We buried what was left of him the next week.
Eli's grip tightened around her mug until her knuckles ached. The words on the walls behind Caleb seemed to blur. Every likely runaway, every red circle on a map, every crude eye carved into wood. This wasn't just a man with a few stories. This was an entire life dedicated to hunting a creature that can't be seen.
This thing has been feeding off people slipping through the cracks for longer than we've been breathing. And you want us to dangle Miles like bait in front of it.
I want you to understand you don't have a version of this story where it just lets him go. It's already inside him. Question is if you let it drag him under in the dark, or if you grab that line and use it to haul it into the light.
Okay. Suppose we're crazy enough to try. We've got 2 sets of eyes that have seen it now. You and Jordan. Who's the third?
Someone whose whole heart points at this. That'd be Morgan Miller.
Isaiah's sister.
Isaiah's sister. Went out hunting the creek same as you did. About 6 years back. Got close enough to scorch her sight. She pulled back before it swallowed her whole, but she's been seeing the edges wrong ever since. Tried to help her live with it. Tried to help her hunt it. Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I should have kept her from looking. Either way, she's the fourth point of your triangle if you can convince her to stand in it.
Why would she help? She doesn't know us. And I'm guessing she doesn't exactly send you Christmas cards either.
Oh yeah, she's mad at me all right. I took her right up to the line once, out by the old quarry. Thought we could box it in with just the 2 of us and a couple fools who'd seen shadows, not the thing itself. I pushed too hard and asked too much. And when it slipped sideways, a man died. Morgan watched it happen, and she doesn't trust me to know when to quit. Can't say she's wrong. But this ain't the same group. Back then I had desperation and guesses. Now I got a marked door. And 3 people who've all looked this thing in the teeth. Me, Jordan here, and Morgan. That's a triangle proper.
And me?
We'll need someone we can trust to turn on the lights, to guide people's attention. You, Eli. You're gonna kill it.
So how do we even get Morgan to listen?
I'm going with you. I'm the mess she still wants to yell at. I'll stand there and let her. Then I'll tell her the thing from the creek has picked a new door, that it's riding a cop's nephew, and that this storm is the best shot she's ever gonna get at seeing it bleed. She might slam the door. She might curse me. But she will hear me.
A wind gust shoved at the house, making the walls shiver. The lantern flame leaned toward the pages in Caleb's notebook, then settled back. Eli stared at the words, Periphery, Hollow Creek Node, and at the list of rules underneath it. One of them, must leave evidence of passage, had 3 lines underneath it.
We'll go to her. With you. But, Caleb, this isn't just a monster story anymore. This is your whole wall, your whole life.
And what do you think it's gonna be for y'all if y'all walk away now? You crossed over the minute you started pulling those threads. Creature knows your names now. Town does too. You either leave and be pulled apart slowly, or we tear it out in front of everybody.
The house shook, and for a moment Eli imagined every name on the clippings peeling themselves free, drifting down like leaves. They left Caleb's cabin with the storm right in their bumper. The old pickup led the way down the washed-out dirt road, its taillights blinking red through the trees. Miles's car followed. Caleb's truck pulled it out the ditch. The engine still complaining from the earlier crash, tires slipping in the new mud. By the time they reached town, Hollow Creek looked smaller. The streetlights had halos, the storefront windows were fogged, and the creek down the hill had climbed a little higher up its banks.
Y'all picked a bad weekend for a visit. Weather service just upgraded the watch. If that creek gets any higher, they're sending us all up to the high school. You need extra towels? Let me know. And don't park too close to the drainage ditch, huh? It'll eat your bumper.
Yeah. Thanks, Dolly.
Room 6 at the Mountain Bend Motel looked even smaller with Caleb Dawes standing in it. He took up space in the way the room didn't know what to do with. Boots dripping on the carpet. Army jacket still damp at the shoulders. Eyes taking in the conspiracy wall in one slow sweep.
I'm ready to go. Go get the periphery.
Jordan, sit, please. You lost time out there.
Jordan moved like everything hurt at once, muscles still remembering water that wasn't there. Caleb stayed standing near the door, arms crossed, gaze flicking back and forth between the motel's cheap lamp and Eli's board.
Huh. You built yourself a smaller version of my wall.
Yeah. Yours is just my worst case scenario with more square footage.
Eli grabbed a flyer that had come with the room. Visit Historic Hollow Creek, and flipped it over. The pen squeaked as she dragged thick black lines across the glossy paper.
Okay. Triangle, 3 points, 1 center. Point 1, Caleb. Point 2, Jordan. Point 3, Morgan, if we can get her. Mark center, Miles. Outside the triangle, me. Running logistics, lights, recordings, witnesses.
Love being the center of attention.
Well, you do have that fan club.
Flash flood watch in effect. Residents in low-lying areas should be ready to move to Hollow Creek High School, gym, and stadium if the creek comes up overnight.
The words hung there for a moment, heavier than the rain. The high school squatted up on the hill above town, its football field wrapped in a running track and 4 towering floodlights. On Friday nights, half the county packed themselves onto the bleachers to yell at boys in helmets. Now it was going to be the place they ran to when the water came up.
High ground, big open space, floodlights, built-in crowd. It's perfect. Horrifying, but perfect.
Told you. Ready-made altar. Town already trained to look the way when the lights come on.
If this works, we're gonna make them look at something they can't see.
Good. They've been looking away long enough.
Eli wrote stadium under the triangle and circled it hard enough to tear the paper.
3 points on the field. 1 marked center. Rest of the town up in stands made to see. We broadcast everything we can before it fixes our gear. We light it up. We name it. If we're going to do this, we do it where hiding gets hard.
And if the sheriff shuts it down, he's gonna be there. He's always there.
He might try. I've seen plenty of men in uniform hear things before anyone else does. Don't you worry about Calloway right this second. Gage has been leaning on him for years. We're just gonna have to worry about our steps one at a time.
You're really gonna stand there? After what happened at the quarry?
I spent 6 years trying to keep folks like you from ever getting this close again. Figured if I scared enough people off, maybe it'd go quiet. It didn't. It just got picky about who it took. I failed that man at the quarry, and I failed Morgan. I'm not fixing to fail you 3 by sending you out there alone with half a ritual and an audio recorder.
So you're doing this because you care. And because you're obsessed.
Those two things ain't mutually exclusive. Obsession's just what you call caring when it goes on too long with nothing to show for it. Maybe this storm will give me something worth the wall space.
Miles watched him, something like recognition flickering behind his tired eyes. A man who had let one story swallow his whole life. A shape he was starting to understand a little too well. Okay. Tomorrow we go to Morgan with you. We tell her the thing that took her brother has found a new way in. And we're gonna try to kill it in front of the whole town. If she slams the door in our faces, then what?
Then we find another way to hurt it with the pieces we got. But she deserves to hear there's finally a plan that don't end with her standing alone in the dark. Let me take that first hit. I owe her that much.
Outside, Hollow Creek was shrinking under the weather, puddles joining arms along the curbs, the creek shoving harder at the roots along its bank. Inside room 6, 4 people stared at a crooked triangle on the back of a tourist flyer and tried to believe it was enough.
When I was in that drain ditch, it felt like it was waiting for me to stop looking. Like the second I let my eyes go soft, it could move. If this triptych works, it's like forcing it to stand still for the first time.
Then we make it stand still. Even if it means every single person in that stadium has a worse night's sleep for the rest of their lives.
I can live with that, assuming I live at all.
Don't borrow trouble yet, son. Storm's still coming. You're not dead till the water's over your head and you stop kicking.
They didn't sleep much. They dozed in pieces while the storm tapped on the window and the AC rattled and rattled. Every time Miles drifted, the whisper crawled back in. Don't look. Every time Jordan shut her eyes, she saw water turn to glass and faces pressed against it, black ribbons in their hair. Eli lay on her back, rehearsing their pitch to a woman she'd never met. And Caleb snored softly in the motel's one-sad armchair like a man who'd slept through worse. In the morning, the hill and its field were waiting, empty and dark, for now. Before they could ask a stadium full of people to look straight at their monster, they needed one more pair of eyes willing to see it. Nothing Happens in Hollow Creek is a student-led production out of Kennesaw State University. The show was written by John Williams. Our production manager is Abigail Diamond. Our audio and visual editor is Abby Tape. Our theme and outro music are by Sawyer Goodson. Eli is voiced by Abby Tape. Jordan is voiced by Abigail Diamond. Miles is voiced by John Williams. For more information about the show, please visit us at nothinghollow.com or give us a holler on Instagram at NHHCOfficial. Thank you once again for listening. We'll see you next time, if God is willing and the creek don't rise.